Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special end of the year 2021 episode of Super Switch Headz, the premier Nintendo podcast on all of the internet. My name is David Howe.
My name is Matthew Stoner.
My name is Patrick Nisley.
Oh, and boy, oh boy, we got a crazy episode for you guys today. This is our annual wrap-up of the year. We just did our 2021 Year in Review Golden Heads Award episode. We're recording this one a little bit early, so this will be a little bit of a shorter episode, but we're going to give you our 2022 predictions, what we think might be coming in the world of Nintendo and the gaming industry at large in the year 2022. Maybe some of our hopes, stuff that maybe not what we think is going to happen, but what we really want deep down inside. So we're going to be getting into all that this week. How are we doing, guys? How are we doing since we recorded, a couple days ago?
I'm doing pretty good. Santa will be here in just a couple days, coming to town.
Yeah. Still believe in that guy, huh?
Yeah. Baby Santa.
Yeah, baby Santa. In that manger. Everybody knows that story. Anyway, I think I guess we just jump right into this, huh?
Yeah, let's
Special
do it.
episode. Let's do it.
So we're going to be talking all about 2022, what we know, what we don't know, and make some guesses and talk about the rumors and that kind of stuff. So let's start with what we do know and maybe what out of this we're most looking forward to / any predictions about them. Coming up very soon, we probably know as much as we're going to know about Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Officially now Arceus. Yeah.
All right. Good to have that clarification. I'm still going to never remember.
We can thank giggling British children for that
one. So yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any big surprises here, right? This is a month away, less than that.
Right.
But open world Pokemon, are y'all going to play this game? Are we going to talk about this game?
I'm planning on
play
it.
this game. Yeah.
We should definitely do an episode on this game.
Yeah. It
I'm
feels
excited
to
for
me
it.
like the most exciting Pokemon news, but maybe that's just because it feels like they're actually trying something new and not.
Mm-hmm.
I too am cautiously optimistic that this will be familiar and new.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be the first of many Breath of the Wild likes that come out this year, right? If Sonic Frontiers is still coming out and Chia and all these other games.
This Kirby game, probably Splatoon 3's storyline will feel. I'm guessing, maybe not. You know what I mean?
Splatoon 3 is going to be.
Yeah, it's a breath like.
Yeah. But no, I'm excited for this. I think I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think it's definitely has the potential to be a dumpster fire. I'm not gonna go out and pre-order it or anything, but I'm like cautiously optimistic. I'm looking forward to reviews. I hope they put out like a demo. I mean, that would be awesome. Although I don't think they probably need to in order to get sales for this game. I think my question to you guys is, do you think, because we're kind of on track for there to be a Gen 9, right? Of like, it's usually like every 3 years a new generation of Pokemon comes out. That would be at the end of this year. But do you think that they're still going to do that with Arceus coming out at the beginning of the year? Do you think this takes the place of that? Do you think this is buying them more time? Because this is Game Freak and Pokemon Company that are making this, right?
Yeah. I'll go first. I mean, who knows? But I hope that it does mean that there's not going to be one. There's rumors, it's jumping ahead maybe to rumors, but of a Pokemon Let's Go type game, which doesn't preclude there also being another Pokemon game as well. But that could feel like a good second Pokemon release that isn't a mainline one.
Yeah, I agree.
And that seems possible.
I don't think we'll get a new non-remake, non-remaster Pokemon in 2022. I think Pokemon Arceus is the new Pokemon game, at least for the next year.
Yeah, maybe come the holiday season, they'll put out like an expansion for it or DLC or something like that, maybe.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That would be a good alternative.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Either way, I'm looking forward to this, and I hope it's good because I think that they could use this model to really expand on and make this even more of a thing going forward. So very excited for this game.
Another game we actually have a date.
Before we move on, do y'all think we'll see a Pokemon Legends Arceus Direct a week or two before launch? Or
I'm going to go
anytime?
with yes. Yeah. I think we will see a little bit more before this game. I think there's more to show. They've already shown a lot, but I don't think they'll miss their opportunity, and it would kind of take the place of a January direct, right? Like they could do that instead of doing like a full direct and kind of give the gamers something from Nintendo themselves. That's my prediction anyway.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we'll see one. We've seen it for other big franchises. I think we could definitely see Pokemon, a direct for Pokemon Legends Arceus.
They've been doing the Pokemon Presents thing a lot.
Yeah, maybe that. Yeah.
And that way I could definitely see it covered in one of those, because one of those, they usually show off 3 mobile games, some minor update, and a TV show or something like that. And so they could also cover Arceus there.
We'll finally get Pokemon Sleep.
Finally.
But if we're ready to move on, the other game that actually has a date for release is the delayed Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. These games being remade for the Switch. It looks a complete remake, right? Yeah. Maybe not a major release, but look forward to that one personally. Never played an Advance Wars game.
Do we know, is this Intelligent Systems making this? Do we know who's developing this game?
I bet we do, with the delay and all that.
Yeah. I'm going to look that up as well. But because I know one thing, and this is kind of jumping around a little bit, but hey, this is a bonus episode. We're doing this conversational. There's rumored Fire Emblem game coming out as well. So it kind of depends on who is actually putting this together, on if we will see another Fire Emblem. If they're both being made by Intelligent Systems in-house, I don't know about that. But if it's somebody else, I think that kind of guarantees that we will see that rumored Fire Emblem game this year.
So it's Way Forward. Is that?
That's right. Way Forward is doing it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So
right.
That's interesting in its own right, a little bit, but
right.
But that's not Intelligent Systems. So
yeah, because I know Three Houses was made a lot by like Koei Tecmo with Intelligent Systems helping, right? So this kind of frees up Intelligent Systems to be working on this new Fire Emblem game completely. So that's exciting.
I think just zooming out a little bit, since we're talking about Advance Wars, it's a weird year for like tactical RPGs. We have Triangle Strategy coming out at the beginning of next year, I think February, and then Advance
Do we have a date
Wars,
for that?
and then the new Mario Rabbids and Metal Slug Tactics 2.
That's true. And there's also, from the NVIDIA leak, there's that rumored Final Fantasy Tactics remake.
Yeah.
And we have no idea what the release date is, but yeah.
David, what you just mentioned about a new Fire Emblem. So
That's true.
If you're a tactical RPG fan, this is going to be the year for you.
Look forward to 2022. Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely true. And a lot of those are, or several of those are Switch exclusives. So yeah, they comprise a chunk of this list. Yeah. But we also have in the spring, allegedly, the new Kirby game, which looks to be a very pretty game, and Kirby going 3D, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Looking forward to that very much. I don't know, it says, rumors that it has RPG like elements. Is that, y'all heard that? I don't know if it's true or not. Maybe just the 3D exploration element could be there of the Breath of the Wild thing we were talking about.
Maybe. I feel like this might be closer to like a Bowser's Fury Odyssey type game. I don't know.
Right.
For some reason, I'm just getting like major Bowser's Fury vibes from this, right? And I feel like it would kind of, because that also had exploration, obviously, but just in the way that the gameplay has looked so far and kind of the feel of it, I'm kind of getting vibes from that. I have nothing to base that on other than just a gut feeling. But I'm and hope, right? I think that would be really great if they did do it that way. But this seems to be kind of like a semi open environments, but still like a level based, or like maybe like a hub world level based system.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be too many RPG elements, or at least not something like a skill tree for a Kirby game. They would be interesting to have like a skill tree for like a jump higher or float longer.
Multiple jumps.
Well, how about like what if they did kind of like a Metroidvania style, like permanent upgrades that Kirby gets throughout the adventure? That'd be pretty cool.
That would be fun.
options of things you can do. Yeah.
Or like transforming
Right.
abilities.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we don't get a direct for Arceus, I bet we will get a full pre-launch presentation of this game, because it's like
I really hope so.
we know kind of what the game feel is like, but we don't really know a lot of specifics at all. And I feel like there's probably a lot to explain in a transition from a 2D franchise to a 3D franchise. So I'm looking forward to learning a lot more about this game.
Similar to Matt questioning if we get a Pokemon Presents or a specific direct. We don't know enough about this. Spring of 2022 could mean, late spring could be technically June or something, even, right? Like, so probably we get more shown off either in a direct or some big explanatory thing. Yeah.
So if we know Advance Wars is coming out in April, when do we predict this is going to drop? Do you think? Because I don't think it's going to be April as well. I think they're going to keep that for Advance Wars. Do you think this is a March, or do you think this is a May?
I think we see a May, early May.
Yeah. Well, we don't have anything currently slated for February or March then.
Right.
If that's the case.
That's true.
I think I'm going to throw my hat into the March ring for this. This feels like a Breath of the Wild window release, or like a I don't know. I guess Bowser's Fury was January, right? Last year, or was that March?
That was January.
That was January.
Yeah.
I thought it was February even, maybe, but go ahead.
Let's just name all the months.
It came out in January, February. It's great.
We're recording this earlier in the day than we usually do. I'm still drinking coffee.
It came out in February.
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna go with March. I kind of have a feeling that this is dropping in March, personally.
The main reason I know it's February is that Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury is forever associated with the ice storm, because it came out right when the ice storm happened. So
that's
we had recording our episode on it.
Yeah. And I remember using the last of my Switch's battery to play Bowser's Fury.
Me too.
Yeah.
Triangle Strategy is March 4th, 2022.
Okay.
If we're talking about like time frames, so it could be
that could cover it.
Kirby could be March, late March.
Okay. Interesting.
I still think we'll see Kirby May.
Either way, I think that there's a lot. I think that there's a lot in the first third of the year that we don't know yet. And I think that I've got a feeling 2022 is going to be pretty fucking packed. Mm-hmm. And I think that there's a lot we don't know about these release dates. And Nintendo's gotten into the habit of like dropping like a month out that a game is coming. Like look at Metroid Dread, right? Like that was like, they've just rode the hype. Announcement, hype, constant release stuff, and then it was out. I think we're going to see that from multiple games this year. So I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Yeah, but you bring up a good point about Metroid Dread. Like what they did with Dread is Nintendo put out those story trailers. They put out 4 or 5 of those story trailers to really maintain the hype going into release date for Dread. I would love if Nintendo would do something like that with Kirby and the Forgotten Land, where it kind of sets the stage for some of the story of what's going on in the world.
Totally.
Dread was like a 4-month window, right? They announced that E3 releases early October.
Right. And so this would be a little bit different because we already know it exists, right? But
one of these titles that we know about, yeah.
Or I'm really excited for the ones we don't know about, right?
Mm-hmm.
So nothing else is, even to my knowledge, y'all correct me, I'm obviously was wrong about just Triangle Strategy. I missed the date on that one, but we got several games that are slated for 2022 that are pretty big. Splatoon 3, the sequel to Breath of the Wild, Mario and Rabbids sequel, and Bayonetta 3. Where do you think those fall? Anything, any thoughts on any of those specifically?
Should we start? Let's start with
Breath
Splatoon
of the Wild
3.
Let's start with Splatoon 3. That's got to be a summer game, right?
Yeah, it feels like a June. You announce it. You get a Splatoon Direct sometime in May. Then you do a release in June. Then you have a Splatoon Invitational as part of E3.
Smart.
Splatoon seems like the game that has like captured the youth of like Japan specifically. So that feels like school's out for the summer. Let's put out Splatoon. All the kids start playing it. and that syncs up well here in the States as well. But it's such a huge cultural thing in Japan that that definitely feels like a June release to me. So I could buy that. Yeah. I think Mario Rabbids feels like August to me, maybe September.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like just post E3, if E3 even happens this year, which we haven't. I don't know if that's in the notes, but but yeah, I don't know. That feels like they show off more of the game at E3 and then it releases soon after.
Yeah, and that's also Ubisoft, so they could do it whenever, but
Right,
probably
right,
Nintendo
right.
doesn't want it to release with any other major Mario-esque game.
Even though that's a Ubisoft game, that's a Mario game, and I feel like Nintendo probably has a say in the release window for that, and they're going to slot that in where it makes sense for them.
Yeah. Before we get to the big one, which is the Breath of the Wild sequel, what about Bayonetta 3? Do you guys think that's coming mid-year, late year?
It's a Halloween game.
Yeah.
Halloween celebrating Satan's birthday. Bayonetta 3.
Sometime October.
I was going to say, that feels like a Metroid Dread-esque release. I can see Bayonetta 3 doing similar numbers to... I feel like Bayonetta 3 is going to fall somewhere like sales numbers, somewhere between like Dread and Astral Chain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's obviously more known than Astral Chain, but not as much of an established IP as Metroid. So it's like October seems like a really great time for that. I'd love if we got it a little bit sooner. We haven't really like talked about anything for July, so could like fall around then. But I just feel like this game probably needs a little bit more time in the oven. They think they want to make it really polished, so October feels about right for me.
And then lastly is the big sequel to the Breath of the Wild. We've talked about it last week. Rumors that it's coming at all in 2022. If it doesn't get delayed, it'll be late November. That's what they're aiming for, allegedly. So that seems right, though, right? Like, I mean, that'll be a big holiday game if they get it out next year, right? Seems like.
Yeah, I mean, I want to believe it's coming out this holiday, right, of 2022. I wouldn't put any money on that at all. Maybe $5 just to be exciting. But it's like, I definitely wouldn't put any eggs in that basket. I mean, I think just look at the number of times that Breath of the Wild 1 was delayed. That was supposed to come out like 2 or 3 years before it eventually did. I think that they're in no rush to get it out. They know whenever they get it out, it's going to sell like hotcakes. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of don't have a ton of faith, but I really do hope that it comes out around holiday 2022.
Sam, I want it in 2022. I don't know if that's realistic.
I mean, I think there was a world where we thought it was even coming out in 2020. Remember? Mm-hmm. Like they showed this thing off in 2019 for the first time. That's when the trailer came out, and so I think 2022 is not asking that much. They've had a lot of time for it to be in the oven at this point, but I just wouldn't be surprised if it gets pushed back again.
Totally. Well, there's no chance we're going to see Metroid Prime 4, but it is one of the remaining announced non-dated games. There's also this alleged Detective Pikachu sequel situation where I don't even remember how this game officially came to be believed to be real, because they never talked about it. Like some press release or something said.
Yeah, I think it was announced in a press release. We know it's real, right? I think it was around the time the movie. I think it was around the time the movie came out that there was a press release saying that they're working on another game. But yeah, they've been completely silent on it, right? Since then, we haven't heard or seen anything.
Could be this year. That could be another reason there's no mainline Pokemon game.
I could see that slotting in like winter or like holiday season. Yeah. What do you think about that, Matt? You think we'll see a Detective Pikachu?
See, that'll be 10 or 11 months after Arceus. If Arceus is the big push, then maybe we have Arceus DLC in the summertime. 6 months later, we have Detective Pikachu. Get that steady stream of Pokemon content.
I could see Detective Pikachu for like September, maybe too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like pre-holiday lull, because that'll sell.
Are we getting we're getting a sequel to the movie?
I don't know about that. I think last I heard they're developing more in the Pokemon universe, but that it would be like a franchise. I don't know if it'll be a TV show. I think they want to do movies again. I think that was successful for them. And I think Sonic being really successful and Mario gearing up to be a success, I think that we will see more movies in the Pokemon universe, but I don't know that they want to do that again. I think the Detective Pikachu thing was like testing the waters.
Yes.
Without just like being like, here's the Pokemon story in movie form. I feel like we'll see something a bit more standard, like an adaptation of the anime or something like that next.
Well, that gets us through everything that is officially announced, and we've covered some of the rumored games as we went. But while I mentioned Metroid Prime 4 obviously not being likely, there has been lots of rumors of Metroid Prime Trilogy / some people in the rumor community have said a remake of one of them or all of. I doubt it would be all of them, right? Like, I don't know, but remaster or something seems possible to keep the Metroid. Seems like maybe that finally is a good time for that game, but that people have been predicting this game forever, so who knows?
What I've been hearing is that it's less like they're porting the Metroid Prime trilogy to Switch and more that they're remaking Metroid Prime 1. Yeah. Which I would be here for. I mean, kind of makes sense. I mean, rather than charging $60 for 3 games, just put out one. And then, down the line, get the other remakes. I honestly would not be surprised if that has been in development at Retro since before even they started staffing up for Metroid Prime 4, because I mean, Retro, from what I understand about Retro, they do all their ports in-house, like Donkey Kong Country Returns for the 3DS was developed in-house. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze port for the Switch was done in-house. So I would not be surprised if they've been working on this for a while now, and all that hiring we saw for Metroid Prime, even though it was like Metroid Prime 4, even though it was like well into development, was because they were straddling both of these projects at once. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see both coming out of Retro personally. I don't have any insider information on that. It's just kind of me speculating.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I would imagine.
That makes sense. It's a possibility. While we're talking about Retro, maybe time to bring up the Donkey Kong rumors. Doesn't seem like it's them if this rumored game is true, but there's rumors of a Donkey Kong game, maybe a 2D, maybe a 3D game. There's been some conflicting rumors about it, but what do y'all either believe or hope for in terms of that? Do you think sounds like it's not just another Donkey Kong Country game, just based on the fact that people aren't so sure and that name hasn't been used, but it's entirely possible it is.
Jungle Beat 2. Bongo drums for the Switch.
I hope not.
That's the whole name. Donkey Kong 2 bongo drums for the Switch. The title of the console is in the name.
Yeah. I don't know. I want it to be 3D, but everything I'm hearing is that it's 2D, right? And that it's an EAD production. Yeah. I mean, I fucking love Tropical Freeze. I was playing Tropical Freeze recently, and obviously that's Retro and not EAD, but I have full faith in EAD to put out a good 2D Donkey Kong game. If it's Donkey Kong Country, 6, I would be totally happy with that. I think a lot of people would be upset. But fuck them, man. Donkey Kong is awesome. And Donkey Kong is best when Donkey Kong is 2D. So I'm all right with that. And I think if they are doing, because I don't think that these are necessarily mutually exclusive. I don't think it's either or. I think they could also be working on a 3D game. But if they are doing a 3D game, I don't think we're going to see it in the same year that Kirby goes 3D. Right? I think this would be like a 2023 or later thing.
I think Nintendo needs a holiday game for 2022. And like Donkey Kong could be it, whether it be 2D or 3D coming into the 2022 holiday. If that's not the sequel to the Breath of the Wild,
right,
then it's got to be a Mario game or a Donkey Kong game.
Yeah.
In conjunction with, the Mario movie comes out. Probably they're building some Donkey Kong universe stuff. And then we have the rumors of Donkey Kong coming to the theme park. And Nintendo has previously said that they want to expand Donkey Kong as an IP and character too.
Question.
So you just convinced me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Question. Here's a wild thought. with all of the Donkey Kong stuff happening at the theme park and in the movie, in the Mario movie, and all that kind of stuff, do you think that the 3D Donkey Kong is Odyssey 2?
That'd be
Like,
cool.
do you think that like the Mario and Donkey Kong franchises, are they trying to like not discern them as much anymore? Like, because there could be Donkey Kong Country as like their thing, but what if this 3D Donkey Kong game is Odyssey 2 and they're kind of working Donkey Kong in to Mario? Because I mean, they both started in the same franchise, those two characters. What if they're kind of trying to peel them back in? And that's why we're getting like Cranky Kong in fucking the Mario movie and stuff like that.
I think that would be awesome. I think that, they've made some Donkey Kong and Mario games over the years, number of them, right? Like it would be great if they made a awesome like platformer-y one,
Yeah, imagine like a co-op Mario Odyssey where one person is like Mario and the other one's Donkey Kong, and fuck Luigi.
Literally fuck Luigi, because there's a side mission where you fuck Luigi.
Oh, no, we don't need that.
Okay.
Poor Luigi, he never.
We don't need apes fucking brothers.
Dreamer's gonna dream. I would love that.
Yeah,
maybe it's a tie-in game. I don't think the Mario movie will have a tie-in game as in the traditional sense.
Yeah,
I think it could be like a world building game that could further build on the world as it exists in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we're getting Mario and plus Rabbids, but this does bring up that there is no Mario game in 2022, and there doesn't have to be, right? But has there been a year without a Mario game that, even if it's just a port or something, could we get a
2021, right? Oh no, I guess
we had
January.
Bowser's Fury.
Yeah. If you guys don't mind, let's maybe talk about hardware for a second, because I think that a lot of game releases would tie into new hardware, because we've been hearing all these rumblings that I don't think were false, that developers, including in-house Nintendo development cycles, have been prepping for 4K gameplay, right? Mm-hmm. And higher quality gameplay with more horsepower, right? Now, we all thought that the Switch Pro is coming out in 2021, right? And that obviously wasn't the case. I kind of feel like they're at this point now where we've got 2022 as like potentially the final year of the Switch as we know it. And what was going to be a Switch Pro iteration, like a stronger version, might just now become the next Switch, right? Like if they're worried about chip shortages, they could just be building up that hardware stuff right now, getting it prepped, and then just kind of calling this whatever the next generation is going to be. And if that is the case, I don't think we're going to see that this year, but I think 2023 seems really likely. And then it would also make sense for them to hold a bunch of games for that, right? Like that they were working on for these 4K kind of games, maybe even, dare I say it, Breath of the Wild 2, So it's like, I'm thinking like a Metroid Prime 4, a new Donkey Kong game, Zelda, like all these kinds of things might make more sense to hold until they have this new hardware ready and until they're, ready to meet demand for this thing. That would like be the only reason I could see a lot of these games that have been rumored being pushed back into 2023 and not releasing in 2022. I don't know what you guys think about that, or if I'm kind of getting too speculative there.
I have several thoughts. I think Metroid Prime 2 is going to be developed for this current Switch and future Switch. I think we'll see it for both.
Metroid Prime 4.
Sorry, 4. I think what we'll see in the next hardware revision are the system sellers. Your sequel to Mario Odyssey or a new Mario insert adventure title, Galaxy, Odyssey, whatever it might be, will be there. And then whatever is the next iteration of the Mario Kart franchise, if that's a Nintendo Kart or Super Mario Brothers and Friends Kart.
Yeah. You put that out year one and make it exclusive to the new model, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You make both of those games exclusive to the new year model, sell a bunch of hardware. And those won't come to the current iteration of the Switch. We'll whine about it. We'll complain. We're a Nintendo podcast. That's what we do. But I think if you're Nintendo, you hold on to those big ones. I just don't think we'll see a new Mario game on the current Switch or a new Mario Kart. I hope so. Or a 3D Mario. We might get a 2D one.
You know, I bet they're sitting on a couple finished games that have been done for a year.
Yeah.
And they're just waiting until a new hardware model comes out. We know Nintendo will just sit on stuff for as long as it fucking takes, right? So that would not surprise me. I bet that's why we've heard not one peep from Odyssey 2. I bet Odyssey 2 is on the next model of the Switch. Personally.
I know. Odyssey is such a good game, such a joyful game. I can't wait to be back in that world.
Because there was that Sonic Frontiers leak on 4chan that got like everything right, and that same guy also was, he got a survey about Odyssey 2 and some potential stuff with that game, which I think in the leak it included online co-op with Luigi, like 2 players running around. What was it, like 20 environments, something like that. So if that's the case, that sounds like pretty beefy. I think it'd be worth holding if they're going to do that.
And something that could fill the gaps for Mario, I think, is a port or a remaster or something. We've been seeing more 3DS ports. I could see maybe the remaining 3D Mario Land. Is that what it's called? The one,
the 3DS one?
Yeah, the 3D Land.
Yeah,
I can't see that leaving the 3DS, unfortunately. As much as I'd love to see it on the Switch, it just like relied so much on the 3D as its gameplay. Like the 3D camera and the depth perception was like a huge part of the gameplay experience. I can't see that getting ported as much as I'd love to see it. Galaxy if they do, they should bundle it with Samus Returns. A couple 3DS games that might as well throw
randomly put together.
Yeah.
Something there's going to be a port or a remaster of some make. I just don't know what it is.
Xenoblade
Zelda,
X.
Maybe.
Would you guys want to see, Matt? Would you want to see Xenoblade Chronicles X?
I don't think we'll get it.
Really?
I would love to. I would love people to explain to experience to explain that story, because I don't know what the fuck it means. How does it work? To experience, it's so fun being in a mech that you spend 60 hours to get.
It's like the open world exploration seems so much more fun in that game than it does in the Chronicles games.
I just get the sense, like with what Monolith is doing, they saw a lot of success for Definitive Edition for Xenoblade Chronicles, and they remade it multiple times. I don't know if we would get a Xenoblade Chronicles X, like a remake or a remaster. I think we would get a 3, and then
we get a 3,
and then an X.
Okay, interesting. Do you think we're gonna get a Monolith Soft Xenoblade game this year, regardless of what it is?
I really hope so. How long has it been since Definitive Edition? Did that come out last year too?
That was
2020. Right? Okay,
yeah.
So it'll be 2 years. And it feels like there's been a Xenoblade game every couple of years.
I bet we'll see something from Monolith Soft that isn't Breath of the Wild 2 this year, right? I think they've got multiple teams working on stuff there. One is working on Zelda, and the other one's working on whatever they're doing next, be that a port or 3. Either way, it'd be cool, and I think it'll sell well. Like, I think Nintendo themselves had no idea Xenoblade would be so popular. That scarcity issue back on the Wii, where they were like, "We're only releasing this in Europe," like really paid off.
Do you think there'll be any budget titles this year? Another Box Boy or a Dylan game or something like that on the Switch?
Certainly, yeah.
There'll be one of those, right?
What about the sequel to the Stretchers? What's that?
Oh my god! I consistently forget the Stretchers as a game. I never see it on the eShop or anything. It's like weird.
Could be filling early year slot for them to not have a direct or something to fill a February release.
Yeah. I don't know. I think those are the things that are incredibly difficult to predict, right?
Yeah.
I don't really know what that would be. Maybe a Chibi Robo. Maybe it's time to bring that franchise back, because that has always kind of felt more like budget Nintendo as well. Should we talk legacy stuff? Like, dare we ask about Star Fox, F-Zero, Mother? Is this the year where we see any of that?
Man, I have no idea.
I know we predicted every year that one of those things is going to come back, and they never fucking do.
Yeah. Feels like one of them has to, but then they haven't.
Yeah.
I don't
Cool.
know.
So no, let's just go with no on that.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
scared to predict it.
I know. I don't want to get disappointed.
So Mother, no. F-Zero, no. Star Fox?
I think out of those three, Star Fox is probably the most likely, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd love to see F-Zero, man. But I'm just not. We should just not talk about it.
Do you think in September we're going to get some sort of update to NSO to justify sticking with the expansion pack, or maybe even throughout the year? But
I think we'll get something added to it. There have been rumors that they are working on some sort of discount system, a la PlayStation Plus. PlayStation Plus, you pay for that and you get extra discounts on their online store. I think that would be a fair and good, like multiple tiers of deals whenever things go on sale, right? I think that would be a fair and justified addition to what they're doing right now, and it wouldn't cost them that much money because those are the kinds of people that are going to be buying lots of games anyway. So I could see something like that at the very least. As far as other systems, you guys think we're going to see Game Boy finally? Because that was like kind of all but confirmed with a lot of these insiders, and then they were kind of blindsided by the Genesis thing. But I don't think any of them were like, "Oh, that doesn't mean the Game Boy is coming." I think it's still coming. The question is just, do we see it this year or not?
Yeah,
it feels like Game Boy and or Game Boy Advance are the most realistic next systems. I don't think we'll see GameCube for many, many years.
I don't think we'll ever see GameCube, to be honest. I think those will be like bespoke releases.
Yeah.
I could see that. I don't know. I'm not going to take any sort of guess on when, but I do think we'll get that at some point. And I hope it's this year. And I really do think too that whatever the next system is, it's going to keep this account system going forward. It's going to keep Nintendo Switch Online. I think they're slowly building this thing up so it has more value over time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just going to take a long ass time. I don't think that they're in any rush.
Do you think the 99 games are done? We had Tetris, Pac-Man, Mario 35. Do you think it felt like we were going to get one of those all the time, but
fuck it. Let's just go Star Fox 99, just 99 R-Wings flying around.
Fucking down, dude. That sounds like so much goddamn fun.
Yeah, it would be super cool if they did a 3D or something more out of the box, because it felt like they've all been these sort of retro games.
We're going to keep getting retro stuff. Honestly, Donkey Kong 99 makes so much sense. I think about it. It's just the 3 or 4 arcade levels, right? And then every barrel you jump over goes to everybody that you're targeting, right?
I can see that.
And then anybody targeting you get more barrels sent your way instead of garbage, like on Tetris, right? Or Ghosts with Pac-Man. So I think it's like
the 2D Donkey Kong game we're getting is Donkey Kong 99.
Oh no. Yeah, they need a whole development team for that. It's like 100 people being like, how do we make this work on the Switch? No, but I mean, Donkey Kong 99 seems like a no-brainer. I think it's like they've all been arcade games, right? Even if you include Super Mario Brothers 35, because there was like Super Mario Brothers Versus, right? Like that was an arcade release. Tetris has obviously been an arcade game for forever. Pac-Man's an arcade game. I really think Donkey Kong 99 makes the most sense. And we get Pac-Man 99 in 2021? That was this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think we'll definitely see another one this year. And my money's on DK 99.
Yeah. Why don't we just go like Super Mario Brothers 3 99 or Super Mario Brothers 3 35?
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Just like keep them coming every single year. They're exclusive part of the Nintendo Switch Online service, and they're new every other year.
Yeah. If they hadn't just fucking brutally murdered Mario Brothers 35, I would be totally on board with that.
Well, what about 2021? We saw the return of the regular Direct, and we saw a Direct in February. We saw the E3 one, and we saw one in September, if I'm not mistaken. I think that feels like a pattern they might repeat.
3 a year.
3 a year.
Mm-hmm.
It feels about right. Especially with what we know and what we don't, presumably what we don't know.
And then big flagship titles might have their own directs or their own presents. your Pokemon, Splatoon, Mario, Zelda, and if we get any like a Mario Kart or anything.
Yeah. Yep. I'm on board with that.
Yeah. So realistically, I don't. I would see February. That's what they did this past year, but
same.
It just feels right. Like it feels about the right amount of time.
I think early February, and then we'll find out what the big February game is at that direct. We'll find out. We're not going to get any release dates before that. I think January is they've got Pokemon. And then after that comes out, we're going to start getting a direct early in February. And then we'll kind of have our roadmap for pretty much up until E3, right? I think that'll be kind of when we start getting release dates for all of spring.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Is there anything else Nintendo related, y'all, that we glossed over or
I mean,
sure to mention?
We always talk about games, and that's the majority of our conversation, and a little bit of Nintendo Switch Online. But I would also like to see other things, other services that Nintendo can bring to developers. That could be a better audio chat experience rather than through the app, maybe in-game audio chat. Hopefully that either comes with the current hardware or future hardware.
Keep dreaming, boyo.
Future.
If it didn't come with the OLED, it's not coming this gen.
Yeah,
I really don't think that it's. I really think that if you're expecting, not that to say that you're foolish, but I think that it's foolish to expect that, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I think they're holding all that for a hardware revision.
Yeah. If even.
Yeah. If even. Yeah.
Because they've been successful without it here and maybe feel like the risks aren't worth it.
I think there's just the more growth opportunity is services for Nintendo. Yep. So that could be the streaming services like your Netflix or your Amazon, or we have Hulu. We have a Crunchyroll app also on the eShop.
Oh, the Funimation app.
Thank you. Yeah. It's all the same. They're all anime services.
They will be soon enough.
Yeah,
I think they got bought. But if that like Sony merger law stuff goes through, but what do we think like multimedia? Because this is certainly a new Nintendo. They're branching out into movies. They're branching out into theme parks. Do you see any new announcements vis-a-vis, outside of games, Nintendo stuff? You guys have any predictions for that?
I'd see maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like the Mario movie might be a bit of a test of some of that. Like
sure.
they might have some early plans for things depending on how successful and the reception and that sort of thing.
Well, I mean, we've already heard rumblings about a Donkey Kong specific movie, right?
Which would maybe be something that if it goes well and people react well to Donkey Kong, that they will.
It's like the opening weekend, they're like announced that it's coming out. Yeah. Once they see that like opening weekend numbers.
Do you think the toys that come out with the Mario movie will feature voices or no voices or Chris Pratt's voice?
Oh God, help us all.
That's an awful question.
I'm just you
for
never know.
So many reasons.
Yes.
Do you think we see more Lego crossovers? No. Speaking of Chris Pratt,
awful, and just it made me think about toys with Mario and Chris Pratt's voice being in it, and that just feeling so wrong.
It's coming, baby. It's already here. In our hearts, in our minds.
Oh man.
Anyway, I think we'll see more shit that's going to be like what that like we don't normally see at directs, right? I think that like this is the start of it. Like having that big thing where they showed a bunch of celebs on like a fucking Nintendo Direct. I don't think that's the end of that, right? Mm-hmm. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more cross media representation in Nintendo Directs.
You think we'll see more Christina Aguilera in Nintendo commercials?
Yeah. We're going to see a lot more Brie Larson once they announce the live action Metroid movie. But I think, I do think so. I think that's what Furukawa is all about. I think it's the direction he wants to take Nintendo in. I don't think he just wants it tied to like a specific system anymore. Mm-hmm. I think he wants to do that, and he's starting to like be like, hey, this is great. Let's keep doing this. And not only that, we're seeing that with gaming at large. Like video game movies are the new gold rush, and everybody's going after it right now.
I mean, total aside, but just like I pick up my son from school every day, and just I get to see the T-shirts and the backpacks of all the kids that come out, and there's a lot of Mario.
Yeah,
like it's pretty big.
Yeah, there you go. Patrick's always got his finger on the pulse of children.
6-year-old.
Yeah. That's because you have a child and we don't.
Yeah. For no other reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see some some wild Nintendo merchandise. I think they always do weird shit with like Uniqlo and Uniqlo or like Levi's. Let's see some wild stuff. And like Pokemon has done stuff with some of the black, I think Black Milk is the brand.
Yeah.
I want to see some of that, like crazy. Let's see some crazy Pokemon shoes or some crazy Pokemon hats.
Real quick, do we think that, I know we kind of talked a little bit earlier about hardware, but do we think that there's a revision before there's a Switch 2? Do we think there's going to be a Switch Pro, or do you think that's a fart in the wind?
I think you're onto something there with like next system, but it's still kind of a Switch. I don't know. Like maybe it's backwards compatible with cartridges, but has going forward everything was only for that. That seems possible. Maybe not next year, but shortly after. So maybe they don't need to put out any new models.
Yeah,
and this
like
OLED
next gen
model
systems
is the current Switch going forward, kind of a thing, you know.
Yeah, the chip shortage does not seem to be ending anytime soon. Everything we're hearing about the next gen consoles is that we should expect scarcity into 2023. So it's like, if that's the case, like you got to think Nintendo's going to be like building up a kind of army of hardware that they can release all at once.
I think the chip shortage, the more I think about it, we might not see the next hardware revision for the new console for like another couple years.
Dark times.
Yeah, it's weird.
But hey, at least, they're mining Bitcoin. So
at least we're killing the environment so some people can get rich.
Silver lining.
We talked a lot about Nintendo. I think we've covered most of it. Is there anything y'all want to talk about in gaming, non-Nintendo related? Any big releases or any other swing for the fences predictions or anything from any of the other companies or PC or mobile or anything? Like, I don't know.
We have the Monster Hunter Rise DLC coming in the summertime. That might likely be a big release for Capcom on a Nintendo platform
and beyond.
Yeah.
Is Rise still just Nintendo exclusive, or has it come out on PC yet?
It has not yet, but you would assume they'd have a year, right?
Yeah.
It came out in the March, I want to say. So it could be an early next year announcement.
Maybe DLC will kind of release cross-platform. With
maybe
the rest
I could
of the game.
see with
Yeah. I think we'll see some other games. I think we'll see SMT5 going cross-platform. Like a lot of these games that came out specifically for it will start to come out. I don't know. I think I'd love to see some more partnership with Microsoft and Nintendo, whatever that may be. I mean, we know we got Banjo-Kazooie coming out. We know we probably got an N64 game a month coming out. Yeah, I'm interested. I think that this is still going to be a pretty slow year for Sony and Microsoft, and I think Nintendo is going to be really putting their best foot forward. I think they're going to be basically like, I think it would be foolish of Nintendo not to take advantage of the fact that they sell 100,000 Switches in Japan every month when they sell 1,000 PS5s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like now is the time that they're flooding the market. The other guys are struggling to get out. Now is the time for them to really put out some fucking games. You know what I mean? And really get people excited for the system that's now in its like going to be in its 6th year, right? I think this is the time to really start to flood shit before they get something new out. That's kind of my hope.
Well, I think that just about does it, right? Y'all good with calling it there?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
All right. We'd love to hear from our listeners, viewers. So if you have any thoughts on something we said about what's coming in 2022 or anything we didn't say, love to hear from you. And otherwise, thanks to MilkyWay.co, who does our website. Thanks to Corduroy, who does our music. If you're looking for me, Patrick, I am PTYX.
Hey, I'm Matthew on Twitter, MATHYOU.
I'm pretty much everywhere on the internet at Monolith Fiji. And if you'd like to find our show on social media, we are at Switch Headz on Twitter, at Super Switch Headz on Instagram and Facebook. And a reminder to join our Discord and our Facebook group, two amazing communities that you'll find the link to in the description of this video. Thanks everybody for listening to this special episode. That's going to do it for 2021. We'll be back in the new year with a brand new episode. Can't wait to get that out to you guys. And thank you so much to everybody for listening to our show this year, and everybody in our community and all the listeners out there. Even if you're not a member of our community and you're just listening to the show and you do so passively, we know you're out there. We love you guys too. You guys are the bomb, and thank you so much for supporting us this whole time and just listening whenever we talk dumb shit about video games on the internet. We'll see you guys in the new year. We love you very much. Stay safe out there. Get the vaccine, get the booster. Hug your parents and your family if it's safe to do so. Bye-bye.